Heather West, a 25-year-old sous chef from Port Jefferson, New York, was a contestant on the second season of Hell's Kitchen, and will go on to in some ways be the first true face of Hell's Kitchen, especially when it comes to women chefs. So for today, let's go through the journey of Heather in her season 2 run, from important confessionals and moments from beginning to end. Be sure to subscribe and like to support these videos, and with that, let's relive the story of Heather West. It's the premiere, and as usual, the chefs begin with their signature dish, and that's where Heather's first confessional would come, which gave the audience some foreshadowing on a big part of her Hell's Kitchen storyline this season.
Being a woman in the kitchen, you gotta hold your own. My name's not Babe, my name's not Hun, it's not Honey, it's Heather.
As you'll see throughout, a big part of Heather's story this season is being taken seriously as a female chef, which I think the editors specifically want to highlight considering she would indeed be the first female winner, not to mention that this would be the first season of Men vs. Women, highlighting the narrative even further. And speaking of, when talking to her fellow female chefs for the first time, we would see even more foreshadowing when
The women's team are gonna try to get the men's team out. We want 2 women at the end. It has to be that way.
it's the first service, and Heather is named as the kitchen donkey, which was Ramsay's season 2 version of a floater. However, due to Polly's awful performance, that wouldn't last long, and Ramsay would have Heather take over her station, and she would have one of the only good performances of the night.
Being the donkey, I couldn't do anything to help anyone. As soon as he said switch, I was like, all right, let's get it done.
After only 3 minutes on the appetizer station, Heather is getting her food up to the pass.
Service, please.
What is this, boil?
Despite the efforts of Heather, both teams would have a dreadful service, causing the kitchen to be shut down, and even though the red team would be named as losers, this would be a blessing in disguise for Heather, as Ramsay let even the blue team members know how good of a night she had.
Heather, for the first hour and a half, we couldn't get any food out. You swapped places with Polly, and then within 10 minutes, we started getting food. You're the best of the very worst.
Heather would end up nominating Virginia and Polly, with Polly obviously getting the boot. So a very interesting, and most importantly, strong episode for Heather, which isn't always the case in the premiere for winners. Not only did Heather have one of the better signature dishes and best service, but her edit was also very strong, as the audience already knows she'll be a big winner contender this season, and she clearly has a story and narrative for the rest of the season as well. Episode 2 now would be a bit of a cooldown episode for Heather, but she would still in some ways be the star of the episode in spite. It started off at the reward challenge, where she would have her first bad performance, only producing 2 steaks, but nonetheless, the red team would come out victorious. And then at service, she and Maribel were put on the appetizers, and while she appeared to do fine, she wasn't highlighted like she was last service, which while not the end of the world obviously, it would have been nice had she been a standout once again after a letdown challenge performance. However, she would then be the front and center once again, this time not for her skills, but for her massive determination.
Damn. You okay?
No. Calm down. No, she got burned. She got burned, Chef.
Show me.
Oh, okay.
Nice hot water. Calm down, calm down. There you go. Big, deep breath.
Please check that fork, Ross. Maribel, there's quail in the oven, Marianne. 2 extra quails, not orders, just extra quails.
Despite her injury, Heather continues to be a team player.
While standing there in pain, you were delegating your section to your team. I've never seen that in 21 years of cooking. Very impressive.
Thank you.
So yeah, even in a somewhat letdown episode, Heather would still shine like crazy, and while obviously the edit can't ignore this regardless, it's still insane perseverance, no other way around it. Heather's female storyline would play a massive role in these next 2 episodes, but it starts with her showing to be heroic, with the edit clearly trying to get the audience behind her, while at the same time, building a villain to go against her, when Heather volunteered to stay out of the challenge due to her hand, and encourage her team instead.
I didn't want something to screw up today because of my hand.
Who's gonna sit out?
I'm gonna get out first, guys. Only because I want it to be perfect for tomorrow.
Princess Heather made it seem like her whole hand was falling off. Talk about playing the victim card.
Work your ass off.
Are you kidding me? Don't spew on me, like, you know, right back at you.
As I said, Heather's strong woman storyline would then play a major factor, as after the red team returned from reward, Garrett had some not so nice things to say, and thus, badass Heather would stand up for herself and her teammates.
We're on a yacht.
Keep talking. Y'all women have dinner ready for us men when we get home from work.
Garrett turns and says, cook our dinner like women should. And that just completely struck a chord with me.
Get in there and cook for us. If, like, we work so hard and we're coming back from work. Have our dinner ready. I'm not your girlfriend. You
And
don't.
I'm not either.
I totally want to just rip him a new one right now. God forbid if he says anything. God forbid. God help him.
Again, the edit could easily ignore something like this and focus on something else, but the editors are clearly not only trying to give Heather a season-long storyline, but build her up as a heroic figure for the audience to get behind as well. And while Heather would make her first couple of mistakes during service that night, that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, as she's still a massive frontrunner skill-wise, and now especially edit-wise. Episode 4 now, and Heather's story this season would take a massive turn when she was ironically put on the men's team.
Blue team, I'm giving you a leader. Heather. In the blue team. Now.
I'm pissed off because I've worked my ass off for this team. Now we're working against each other.
Missy, there you go.
It's gonna be hard because it's gonna get cutthroat because I'm gonna have to go against my girls.
So yeah, after Heather's first confessional of the season was literally her saying she was used to being the only female in the kitchen, here she is, now the only female in the kitchen with a bunch of men, with one of those men literally making sexist comments last episode, the kind of comments that really upset Heather in real life. And in her first blue team performance, it would actually be the first ever service challenge in Hell's Kitchen history, and Heather immediately made her mark, leading the blue team to their first challenge victory.
I'm just getting you set up. Damn it, Tom, I'm trying to help
Hey,
you. I swear to
no
God.
fighting.
I
Quit it.
I know, but I got.
Hey! Cut it out. Cut it out. The men just can't get over their macho bull. If we don't push this out, oh my God, I'm gonna start breaking heads.
Go, please, table 4, yes? Last order, let's go.
That's all.
Go, please. Complete. You scored a 9.85. Congratulations. You're the winners.
Heather would actually fit in with the men relatively well during reward, with them even renaming the team to officially make her a part of it.
I knew Heather would be scoring. Now that she's on my team, we're gonna kill it.
Dude, the new name of our team is 3 Men and a Little Lady.
At Heather's first dinner service on the blue team, she is once again shown to be leading the team, almost to the point where it's pretty funny, but no other big moments are shown for her this episode. But nonetheless, this is obviously another big episode for Heather, as the fact that Ramsey picked her to switch teams after Michael Ray was the only one to switch last season, who of course won this season, is a big sign that Ramsey sees a ton of potential in Heather and wants her to shine, and safe to say, she absolutely did this episode, not to mention her storyline is now in full effect going forward. Episode 5 now, and while this would be a relatively tame episode for Heather, the editors would once again try to get the audience to rally behind her going forward. Her episode starts off with the reward challenge, earning a 2 out of 4 in the blind taste test, but nonetheless, the blue team would lose reward. However, we would see Heather and fellow fan favorite Rachel bond big time this episode, while at the same time, continuing to see Sarah act villainous.
Going on the other side, I didn't want to become the enemy, you know? I was gonna go on 1 point, sweetheart. I think you know this.
Heather and Rachel's relationship is kind of unprofessional. We're not here to make friends. We're here to earn a serious job. Give me a break.
Again, the editors literally have no reason to show this, other than the fact that they want to rally the audience behind Heather by having her bond with another likable figure in Rachel, who, spoiler alert, would not be long for this season, and thus, it would be all that more satisfying when she outlasts Rachel's enemy Sarah. At dinner service, Heather would have her worst performance thus far, when she got started on the appetizers way too quickly, along with having a tough time communicating with Garrett on entrees.
I haven't called anything away. Why are you cooking spaghetti ahead? If you want to start cooking spaghetti, I'll take off your apron, yeah, and off back home. Have a pickup or something, like a drive-through. That's what we called your restaurant.
It's really hard being pumped all day and then you get yelled at in 5 minutes.
No way. Heather! Now taste it. No, don't you dare take it off that stove until you taste it. Bitty.
Mine was a little crunchy, chef.
A little crunchy.
Yes.
Lift out the pan. Show me. 2 portions of quail. None of you are working as a team. Where's the lamb sauce?
It's the lamb
Where's
sauce.
the lamb
That's the lamb
sauce?
Right here, Chef. I
Lamb
have it.
sauce is coming up.
There's just nothing coming together.
Nonetheless, the blue team would still win service. However,
Far away.
I think none of us on the blue side performed up to our potential tonight. I personally did not perform up to my potential at all, but I don't think that I should go home.
You could take this two ways, as Heather was either trying to save Rachel, or she was genuinely upset by her performance and wanted to show it to Ramsey, which, while obviously not the smartest idea, it does prove just how high of standards she has for herself. Nonetheless, the red team would still be named as losers, with Rachel and Dee getting the boot, and now Heather has yet another storyline for this season, winning for her good friend Rachel.
I don't think that there's one thing I'm not gonna miss about Rachel. I'll have her in the back of my head always. That will drive me to the end. No one's seen anything yet.
On to episode 6, the final round before the Black Jackets, and it starts with the chefs going to the supermarket to buy ingredients for a 3-course meal, and it seems as if the loss of Rachel was still on Heather's mind during this challenge, as the blue team lost reward.
I'm sad. I'm very low. I'll have her in the back of my head going, come on, girl. You can do it, come on. I'm definitely gonna miss her.
Heather,
Fresh fruit crepes with a mango peach puree.
the unfortunate thing about them, they've gone soggy. You know, like a soggy sandwich. It's a great shame. The winning team is the red team. Well done.
However, Heather would make up for this during the blue versus red team menu dinner service, as she and Keith really carried them the victory, despite having to deal with truck deliveries throughout the service, as that was a part of their punishment.
Who cooked the steak?
I did, chef.
No, it's nicely cooked.
The only reason the steaks were going out good is because I did them all.
How about those desserts, Heather? Let's go. The last and absolute final table in the dining room.
Oh my God.
Very nice job.
You saved my white ass.
And with that, Heather is now in the final 5 and knows things are about to pick up, as the finish line is truly in sight. As expected, the final 5 would merge in the one team, the prestigious Black Jackets, and thus, it is now an individual competition. In the first individual challenge, the chefs are tasked to make a special dish for Ramsey, with Heather's dish getting mixed reviews.
Very, very nice. Unfortunately, I've got some dirt. Did you wash the spinach?
Yes, chef.
You did? Not well enough.
I should have triple watched the spinach.
Keith would be the one to win reward, and he shocked everyone when he picked Virginia to join him, despite obviously being close friends with Heather, and especially Garrett. Garrett was so mad that he actually used Heather to let off steam, quite the 180 for Millie in the season, which just goes to show how much respect she had earned from Garrett during her time in the blue team's kitchen. The first Black Jacket service was a relatively quiet one for Heather, and with Ramsey being Ramsey, he actually paired her and Sarah together on apps, and despite Sarah being nasty to her all season, Heather still put in the work to get the apps out after Sarah really struggled.
Heather,
Yes, chef.
one risotto, yes?
Yes, chef.
Bring me the pan, I want to taste it. It's bland. No salt, no flavour, it's bland. Both of you stop. Off to a very bad start. Calm down. Start again.
Heather is hoping that her second attempt at risotto will make it past Chef Ramsey.
Does it taste?
Yes, chef.
That is absolutely spot on.
Yes, chef.
I'm so proud of myself.
The 12 top. There happens to be a bachelorette party. Yeah? Don't screw it. How long for the risotto?
3 minutes. Take those out.
What?
How's the spaghetti?
It was difficult having Sarah on the station because she doesn't listen.
Shoot it.
More.
Despite their problems, Heather and Sarah have managed to get all 12 appetizers to the pass at the same time.
Service, please. The 12 top, please. Let's go.
While not a perfect night for Heather, there was much worse chefs in the kitchen that night, and she once again avoided nomination, with Garrett getting the boot, and thus, she now has a 1 in 4 chance of winning her own restaurant and $250,000. Episode 8, a massive episode late here when it comes to Heather's story. The episode starts with a huge twist, as the winner of this reward challenge would guarantee themselves a spot in the final 3. The chefs had to make meals for construction workers, with Heather taking the immediately safe route of chicken sandwiches and fries. Unfortunately, this would backfire, as she not only lost, but got last place.
The construction workers said their least favourite dish was cooked by Heather.
I felt my heart drop. They said that mine was the worst. You can be the hardest worker, and sometimes it just won't get you very far.
And as fate would have it, Virginia, clearly the weakest chef out of the 4, would win immunity. So all of a sudden, Heather could now be in serious trouble, as if Keith and Sarah both have good services, she could possibly get the boot regardless after this horrific performance. However, almost as if she flipped a switch knowing the circumstances, Heather would go on to produce arguably the greatest individual service we had seen up until that point in Hell's Kitchen.
It is down to either Keith, Sarah, or I to go home tonight. So I really gotta step up tonight.
45 seconds. You ready?
I will be in 45 seconds.
Let's go. Watch her for 2 minutes.
Yes, chef.
That's fast.
Wellingtons are being served. Coming down.
Heather, those Wellingtons are cooked perfect. This is the best start we've ever had in Hell's Kitchen. Let's go, Heather, yes?
Yes, chef.
Heather, do me a favour. Go round to the garnish and get whatever she hasn't got. There you go.
Yes.
Heather,
Yes,
I've got
chef.
no choice now. You've got to go round and mop her up and then start getting your meat out.
Yes, chef.
Despite Virginia, Heather has managed to get her entrees out, and 63 of 100 diners have been served.
They loved the Wellington.
Thank you, chef.
That's your best performance ever. You were easily the best chef in the kitchen this evening.
Thank you, chef.
Heather not only survived, but won the best of the worst, guaranteeing herself a spot in the final 3. And to add the cherry on top, her and Rachel's rival Sarah would get the boot.
I'm not going anywhere. There's nothing that's gonna get in my way.
It's the final 3, and Keith, Virginia, and Heather competed in the Taste It Not Make It challenge, to which Virginia would end up winning, and will get a one-on-one lesson from Ramsay for the upcoming past dinner service, much to the dismay of Heather, arguably having her first and only somewhat villainous moment of the season, as she was very salty about Virginia's win.
I thought it was ham hocks sitting right there.
Yeah, the recipe's in his book. I would have gotten it too if I got his book 2 days prior and read it cover to cover.
I'm gonna get one of your cookbooks.
Heather's totally jealous and it's bull.
You know what? You're not my friend right now, and you're not gonna be. You obviously have a good palate, that or from his book.
I didn't see it in his book.
I think it's beyond a fair situation right now. I'm pissed. I'm so close to my dream, and I'm just gonna smile because Virginia might take it away from me? I don't think so.
As mentioned, in this service, the final 3 would not only cook, but take turns at the pass, and despite Heather being a dominant chef all season, as we know, if you can't run the pass, you have no chance of being a leader at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. Let's see how she does.
Wellington, medium well, how long?
30 seconds.
Fast, how long, Virginia? Coming right now.
Where do we go with
right
Virginia? Yeah, come on, just calm down.
Slow down, hey. Just breathe. Slow down a bit, breathe, and do it better.
I need those two risotto. How long, Keith? Keith,
7 minutes.
6 minutes.
Is he gonna give up?
No, he's not giving up.
Heather's leadership has now stabilized the kitchen.
Potato. Watch the chunks of the potatoes, please. Yes, chef. Go.
You, stop, bring the tray back. Potatoes, Missy, were purposely lumpy, disgusting. Hey, that was a trick, don't dare, right now, argue.
I still have the lumps, but I second-guess myself, and that's my biggest weakness.
So despite missing her quality control test, Heather did an excellent job as a leader. Heck, she even led better than Keith did during his time at the pass.
Wait, hold on. What is going on right now?
Is that you gonna buckle now?
The pass, you couldn't control.
How long in that bath? Is that bath ready?
I kind of had to take control.
We heat up the potatoes.
How long?
Heather.
You gotta give me a time. How long?
It's gonna be about 7 minutes for this.
Despite Heather at the beginning of the season saying she wanted an all-female final 2, she and Keith nominated Virginia, while Virginia nominated Keith, and thus, Heather advanced to the final 2. In a shocking moment, and frankly a moment that guaranteed Heather's win, Keith would get eliminated, and in the first men vs. women season, Heather's storyline and goal would come to fruition, as it would indeed be an all-female final 2.
One of you is gonna have their very own restaurant in Vegas. Get some rest.
Thank you, chef.
See you in the morning.
Thank you.
It's the finale now of Hell's Kitchen Season 2, and Heather, while obviously happy, is still focused and more determined than ever. The finales in old school seasons for some reason were 2 parts, with the first part of the episode literally centered around the chefs designing their own restaurant. Man, thank God I stopped doing that. Anyway, there are a couple of other moments this episode, such as Heather seeing her family, and picking her finale brigade, which ironically consisted of Rachel, her best friend, Sarah, her rival, and Garrett, someone who was ambiguous with her throughout the season, with these 3 in some ways being the most involved in Heather's story this season, and now she would be putting essentially her future into their hands. We've finally reached the climax now of Heather's story, and it all comes down to this. While on paper she seems like a lock to win, who knows what Ramsay will do next, as Heather herself even thinks he's been favoring Virginia all season. Heather knows that despite dominating all season, she still has to put on the performance of her life, and nothing will stand in her way.
Let's go. Tarts, please. Come on. I want this so freaking bad. I'm not gonna take it laying down. Go light on that dressing. Go light on that dressing. It's coming back. There's seasoning on every salad.
Every
correct?
salad.
And why are we getting complaints that there's no seasoning? This is not how we played it in the beginning. This is not how we played it. The berries go like this off the side. The quenelle goes right here.
Better?
Look, Sarah. Sarah, look, they don't look alike. Take it back with you and do it again. It's medium rare. What's not rare?
You want medium rare?
Yeah.
Give it.
I'm not your friend for the next 4 hours. I'm your boss.
Steaks, Rachel, right away.
Heather's riding my ass. She didn't let up on us the whole time.
It's a complete service.
The bread pudding was just absolutely phenomenal.
Service, please. Table 32. Guys, nice job. Thank you very much. Nice job.
And just like that, Heather's time in Hell's Kitchen is over, and now it's up to Gordon Ramsay on who will win this season. Heather and Virginia both ponder about who won, as they truly think it's up in the air with how good each of them did as leaders despite some mistakes here and there. But alas, Ramsay would call the two up to his office to announce the winner. So it's all come down to this. Will Heather's door open to her dreams, or will she fall to the cat with 9 lives in Virginia?
3. Congratulations.
I cannot believe I won. Thank you guys. Oh my God. It feels like a dream.
Heather clearly has great leadership qualities, and this, for a 25-year-old cook, is a phenomenon. This woman is going to be a big success.
So let's now recap Heather's Season 2 run in Hell's Kitchen. Not only did she dominate Hell's Kitchen, but she had one of the strongest and best edits for any winner in Hell's Kitchen history, as from the get-go, she was given a story and a lot of winner edit moments that the editors obviously threw in to build her up as a fan favorite to the audience. You could even say Heather is the most obvious winner in Hell's Kitchen history, as there is literally no competition other than Keith, and again, the two's edits are night and day. She did have a bad moment here and there in challenges and services, and really seemed to be petty towards Virginia, which not only was villainous, but it didn't fit her all-female Final 2 narrative. But nonetheless, this is still a pretty perfect run for Heather, and again, I don't think we could have asked for a better first female winner, and thus, Heather will always remain a legend in the Hell's Kitchen fandom. So there you have it guys, the story of Heather West. Let me know where you rank Heather in your winner rankings in the comments below, and of course be sure to subscribe and like to support the channel, especially if you want to see more story videos like this, as they do take a lot of time to make, but I would love to keep making them as long as there is an audience for it. With all that said, take care everyone, and I'll see you next time.
Get out of there.